England are an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles. From the very top to the very bottom, it needs completely overhauling, because that last night was an absolute embarrassment. Now, I know a lot of fans aren't bothered about England anymore, and, the Premier League's the bread and butter, etc., etc. But when I was growing up watching football, I was an England fan. I saw what it meant to these players to pull on an England shirt, how important it was to them and their careers. Now, they couldn't give a shit. They absolutely couldn't give a shit. And that was proven last night, not just by the players and Lee Carsley, because that setup and team he picked last night just bewildered everybody. We've got Watkins sitting on the bench who's banging form at the minute, and he doesn't play a striker against Greece. This is an absolute embarrassment. Now, no disrespect to Greece at all, because they turned up last night and thought, you know what, everybody's just predicting a walkover for England as per usual, but we're coming here to play. They're not a bad side, Greece. They've got some good players, and they proved it last night, and they give it all. It was very emotional for them, for what happened with Baldock and things like that, and you could see the emotion in some of those Greek players, and credit to them. But the players on our side, they need to take a good hard look at themselves, because these guys have been treated like royalty sometimes. Thousands of pounds a week. But where's the emotion? Where's the passion for your country? And again, people have switched off from England now, and it doesn't surprise me because of the shambles that is the whole England setup right now. Everything is wrong with that setup. Now, Lee Carsley, in a bizarre interview after the game last night, I'm probably just going to go back to the under-21s. You've been given this absolute magnificent opportunity here by managing England with really talented players, and you just give an interview after the game as if you couldn't give a toss. And then you put that line up last night, and you don't bring Watkins on until midway, 10, 15 minutes into the second half? What the hell? But what needs overhauling is everything. The whole thing with the England setup needs a complete overhaul. The FA, whatever they're doing, has been a shambles for a long time now. And then when Gareth Southgate left, they then install Carsley as interim and say, we're going to take our time and get this right. Well, I'm sorry, but you ain't got time. England are now at risk of not getting promoted back to the A-League of the Nations League, where we play the big boys a bit more interesting. No disrespect to the teams we're playing now, but we want to see England against the very best. The Italys, the Spains, the Germanys, etc. France. We want to see them against those sides. That will perk up a bit of interest within the football fan nation of this country. But when we see us going against the likes of Finland, etc., no disrespect to them, but they're not as big as these other huge countries are in European football. Yet we've got to watch that shambles last night. The players need to take responsibility and have a good look at themselves. I heard on the radio last week a conversation regarding Bukayo Saka, right? Saying, is Bukayo Saka world class? Now, I think it was Jeff Stellan actually turned around and said, he thinks Saka is world class. Ali McCoist didn't think so, and I agree with Ali McCoist. You cannot tell me Bukayo Saka is world class. Very good player, yes, but world class, that step up, not a chance in hell. Jordan Pigford, what on earth was that? Now, Jordan Pigford, I've always said, has done okay for England, but lately, you just look at him and the attitude that he has, as if he's this untouchable goalkeeper for England. Coming out last night and doing what he did, giving the ball away. It was a brilliant clearance off the line. But from that very corner, he came to punch and got nowhere near it. He was all over the place last night. Trent Alexander-Arnold gave the ball away, and I think this was highlighted on TV at half-time. Just strolling back, not bothered, lost the ball, strolling back, couldn't give a toss. In fact, all of those England players last night were just... they're a shadow of what they do for the clubs. Now, why is that? I know the formation and the team selection was bizarre last night, completely bizarre. But those players, on paper, should have wiped the floor with Greece last night, yet it was the other way around. Greece had 3 goals disallowed, could have had 5. It's an embarrassment. And the only England player I think deserves any recognition was Jude Bellingham. And I don't necessarily think he was awesome yesterday, but you could see him in the second half. He's trying to fire the fans up and get a bit of atmosphere at Wembley because he knows everything is just flat about England right now. It's just flat. There's nothing in the ground. There's no atmosphere. He's trying to rev them up. He scores a really good goal. And you think, my God, we've got out of it with a point. Well done. And then they go and put on a defensive performance like that in the last couple of minutes of the game and lose. It's a disgrace. But like I said before, it needs a complete overhaul. There's a new manager needs installing with his coaches, not promoted from within or anything like that. It needs a top class manager to come in and take over the reins with his own staff and his own ideas and not be dictated to by anybody. Because I think that was a big problem with Southgate as well. He came up through the FA ranks and then was sort of just a yes man in the England job. How on earth he got the England job? Nobody can tell me he had the CV for an England job. Not at all. And Carsley certainly hasn't. But the attitude of the manager after the game and the players was shocking. Now, when you play for England, I don't know what it's like in that dressing room. I don't know whether the manager would actually bollock anybody or anything like that like they would at club level. But why not? You're representing your country. Where's the fire? Where's the passion for the 3 lions on your shirt? Where is it? We just don't see it. And these players don't give a damn. It's quite clear. The attitude of those players on the pitch last night was terrible. Anthony Gordon representing Newcastle United was awful. But so were the rest of them. It was terrible to watch. From minute 1 onwards, it was terrible to watch. But, we've lost out on Jurgen Klopp as a manager. I think he would have been the perfect, ideal man to come in and completely change everything with that England setup. He'd play really good football, exciting football, and he'd use players in the right places. And that's something, as an England setup, we haven't done in a very long time. It's always square pegs in round holes, and it's never, ever a proper formation. It's all trying to fit the top players into the starting 11. You can't do that. You can't play your very best players in an England side because some of them play the same position. And then when you're trying to put square pegs in round holes, we know as Newcastle United fans over the Steve Bruce years, it doesn't work. And it won't work at international level. In my opinion, we were lucky to get where we did in the Euros. The World Cup before that, we've had a bit of luck getting to the stages that we have because we certainly didn't play very good football in the Euros this year. Not at all. And this has been coming. The Nations League campaign prior to this one was abysmal. Hammered by Hungary at Wembley, etc. It was awful. But somebody is going to have to come in now and completely revamp everything. Start from scratch with what you've got. Because you've got a great bunch of players there who, to be fair, need a kick up the arse when they're wearing that England shirt. Need a massive kick up the arse. And for me, a type of Jurgen Klopp manager is the man to do that. There's not many out there. But listen, this is the best paid job in world football. So you go and get the best manager in world football. Now, I don't know who that will be, but the FA need to get this one right. They need to give us fans something to shout about as England fans, or else they're just going to switch off. Nobody's going to go to Wembley and attend these games playing against Greece and Finland, etc., because it doesn't excite anybody. It's not like the Germanys and France's coming to Wembley. It doesn't excite anybody. But having a manager who gives a damn, who will get these players playing for England, will be different because it will bring the fans back. For too long now, people have just switched off completely. Even in the Euros this year, you used to see all the car flags and flags out of people's windows and stuff like that. You don't see anything like that this year. The odd flag in a car, and that was it. Nothing else. So that just tells you where England are. But it was a disgusting, disgraceful display last night, and everybody related to England needs a kick up the arse. But it needs to start with the FA, and the FA have to get things right because it's continuously embarrassing. Really is. Continuously dross, and the fans are switching off. I want people to be excited about England. I want to be excited about England as a football fan. I want to see us taking on the very best teams. But right now, the attitude is wrong with the players, it's wrong with the manager, and it's completely wrong with the FA. They need to revamp everything, because that was just awful last night. But let me know what you think. What would you do if you were in the FA now? Would you be speaking up saying, look, we need to revamp everything. We need to, Carsley's got to go. We've got to bring somebody new in with fresh ideas and let them run the show. Let the England manager run the England team and not be dictated to. Because that's happened too much now in the last several years, and we're falling apart. It's just dreadful. But somebody needs to come in and ramp these players up, get them fired up for playing for England again. Not that they should. They should be proud and ramped up anyway to play for England when they pull on the shirt. But they don't. You can see that on the pitch last night. So what would you do? Let me know in the comments below. But right now, it's an absolute shambles. But thank you very much for watching this video. Really do appreciate it. If you have enjoyed it, hit that like button. And of course, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, yes, we cover Newcastle United, but we also cover football in general as well. So even if you're not a Newcastle United fan, you are certainly welcome on this channel. Please do subscribe. Free to do so. Hit that notification bell as well so you never miss an upload or a live show. But in the meantime, enjoy the rest of your Friday, folks, and we'll see you later. Take care.